Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. Today making my predictions for the 2020 edition of Survivor Series. For this edition of Survivor Series, WWE went a little outside the box than they normally do of their builds of the show, where there was very few intermingling between the brands. The only thing we had was Drew McIntyre showing up on Smackdown. They used other ways to kind of build these matches. They didn't really do much for the men's and women's traditional Survivor Series matches, but for the tag team title guys going at it for the New Day versus Street Profits, with Big E still being on SmackDown, they used him and the Street Profits going at it to basically be the build for this New Day Street Profits match that we'll see on Sunday. But we didn't have our Kurt Angle moment of him yelling into a walkie-talkie that they're here, but there was no one there. And we didn't have people popping up in locker rooms, just jumping people left and right. And we didn't have NXT getting announced for this. It seems like they, after being the winning brand from last year, are not here this year. But we'll see how this show stacks up. There's currently 6 matches, which is a good number, and we've seen in the past some of these Survivor Series matches when they've went back to this brand split have been pretty decent. I think the show will be alright. So with all that being said, we'll hop right into my predictions for the 2020 edition of Survivor Series. So our first match of the evening will be a champion versus champion match, and will feature the tag team champions of Raw, the New Day, taking on the SmackDown tag team champions, the Street Profits. My thinking for this match is that with the New Day just being Kofi and Woods, that they are going to be on having something to prove here to kind of show everyone like, hey, Big E might not be here, but we are still a good team with there's only 2 of us, and I think they're going to come up with the win here and beat the Street Profits. My thinking for this is currently with the SmackDown tag team division, it's the Street Profits and currently no one else. You could say Nakamura and Cesaro could get another crack at the tag team titles, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And we've already seen a lot of matchups, and the New Day just beating the Hurt Business on Monday, I think this will propel them higher up and be like, hey, we've beaten the SmackDown guys, we've beaten the best here on Raw, the best challengers at least. So we'll get a nice mix of challengers in the future, and it will show that this 2-man edition of the New Day is just as good as the 3-man group. So now on to match number 2. And match number 2 is our first traditional Survivor Series elimination match, where we'll see Team Raw, who consists of Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce, take on Team SmackDown, who currently only has 3 members as of this recording, where we'll have Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, and Liv Morgan, and the 2 missing members. For the 2 missing members, I feel like there's 3 people for 2 spots. Just looking at the roster real quick, you could add a 4th if you want to throw Natalya in there, as we've seen how that's been going, but it's either Billie Kay, Bayley, or Carmella. 2 of them for the 3 spots. Who knows? I don't really think it matters in terms of which 2 of them get in for the outcome of this match, because I feel like with the bickering on Team Raw, where Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are not too fond of their teammates, to say the least, I think we'll come back and bite them, and Team SmackDown will win this match. Just looking at Team Raw, Baszler and Jax don't like their teammates. Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans are supposedly a team the way that they keep getting shown to us, but aren't a team, so that's gonna go well. And Lana's been put through about 974,000 tables. I feel like Lana will be the last person left for Raw against at least Bianca Belair for SmackDown, and that's just an easy layup match where Bianca Belair would get the job done and get SmackDown on the board for their first point of the evening. Another way I could see this ending is if Carmella is on the SmackDown team, that it's Lana and Nia Jax left for Team Raw, and then Carmella, Bianca Belair, and insert whoever on the team left for SmackDown. Nia Jax gets eliminated, gets pissed, beats the hell out of Lana, puts her through an announce table. Boom. It looks like, okay, Bianca Belair's just going to scoop a win. Carmella tags in. 1, 2, 3. She then says she got the winning pin for SmackDown at Survivor Series, and that's what will propel her into her match with Sasha Banks in the near future. So now on to match number 3. And match number 3 will be our battle of the mid-card titles, where we'll see United States Champion Bobby Lashley taking on Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. Now in this match, I only see it really going one way, and that's with Bobby Lashley getting the win for Raw and beating Sami Zayn. We've seen this Lashley-Zayn combo in the past. I was stuck in an arena where Zayn and Owens were in a tag match against Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. Didn't go too well, and I feel like Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business are just at such a high level on Raw, and Sami Zayn's kind of in a middle to role in the grand scheme of things on SmackDown, that Lashley's just going to wreck shop here and beat Sami Zayn, and we'll move on to match number 4. And that'll be our battle of the women's champions, where we'll see Raw Women's Champion Asuka taking on SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks. Now with this match just happening multiple times a few months ago when Sasha and Bayley were still bouncing between both shows, going after Asuka and winning the tag team titles. That in just my head, I think they'll book this match as a continuation of the rivalry. And last time we saw this, Sasha Banks lost to Asuka. And I believe with Banks being jumped every week by Carmella, that she really needs to get a win. And I think she will beat Asuka here to get SmackDown another point for the evening. If you look at the Raw women's mix, it's very confusing. I could not tell you who Asuka will be facing next because, well, everyone's either in a tag team or just hates each other and are fighting someone else. And Sasha Banks could have multiple matches lined up. We could have a reignite with Bayley in a few months. Carmella's been jumping her every week. That's clearly the path they're going. And getting her a win here will make her look at least a little bit better, that she's not just the person getting jumped every week. She's the superior women's champion because she just beat Asuka. And will give her some credibility going into the feud against Carmella, that she's not some just jumped blame duck champion here going into their rivalry. It would make the Carmella-Sasha match look better on paper instead of her losing and being jumped every week. So now on to our next match. And our next match is match number 5, the co-main event of the evening, and it is the men's traditional Survivor Series elimination match. We'll have Team Raw, who consists of AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle. I wonder what happened to Matt. Taking on Team SmackDown, which currently has 4 of the 5 members, and their 4 members right now are Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, and Seth Rollins. Now for the 5th person on SmackDown, there's a decent list of people you could say could get the spot. It could be one of the Mysterios, Dominic or Ray. It could be Lars Sullivan. That'll make people happy. Big E, he was on a roll. He's been in these backstage things with the Street Profits. Buddy Murphy could be on the team, considering what could happen in the match with Seth Rollins on Friday night, if that would propel him into a spot. And the last one is just me pulling something out of left field. The Undertaker. When most of us think of who the guy for SmackDown is, a lot of us think that The Undertaker is the guy, and this could be his send-off, and he would have a decent performance being in an elimination match. He doesn't have to do too much, and he is supposed to be there for his celebration, his coronation, or whatever the hell it's supposed to be, the celebration of the dead man, his years in the WWE. And I think a nice send-off would be him being on the SmackDown team, potentially being the winning member, who knows. But no matter who the 5th member is, this is kind of just like the women's match in my mind. I think Team SmackDown will get the win and beat Raw here. Just in my eyes, there's something about this Raw team that speaks to me as they're going to lose and then everyone will feud with each other for the coming months. It slightly feels like what Rollins' team was at Survivor Series many years ago when Sting came back and Dolph Ziggler got the winning pin, never forget. And I think a win here would do wonders for Kevin Owens and Jey Uso on Team SmackDown, considering it could push Owens up into that world title mix to maybe have a match with Roman down the line. And with Jey Uso basically being Roman Reigns' disciple here, little Buddy Murphy-esque, I could see it being, hey, I gotta win, like this is good for the family kind of thing, leading into Roman's match, which is next. And this will make Jey all happy leading into Roman's match, which he may play a role in determining the winner. So now on to our main event of the evening. And our main event of the evening is our last champion versus champion match, and it is the world champions going at it. We'll have WWE champion Drew McIntyre taking on WWE Universal champion Roman Reigns. Now this match, I truly feel like could go either way. If you say Roman's going to win, I understand. If you say McIntyre's going to win, I understand it. Usually you go, oh, Roman Reigns, big match, okay, he wins, that's how WWE likes it, we'll keep on keeping on here. But with Jey Uso riding the high of being on the winning Survivor Series men's team, he'll come out to help his good old cousin, and he'll be like, oh damn it, Jey's gonna help Roman win, Drew's gonna get screwed here. But in reality, Jey just gets in the way, leading to a Claymore from McIntyre, hitting Roman in the mouth and pinning him 1, 2, 3, and Drew McIntyre will walk out the winner. Now ever since WWE went to this formatted Survivor Series where we've had champion versus champion in the past, the WWE title I feel like has switched every time. AJ won it one year, he took the belt off Jinder, had his match with Brock, and then a year later Daniel Bryan got the title, took on Brock. They both lost. But now with McIntyre, I feel like they're going to try to break the streak here, because once we all start catching on to a streak, everyone starts to complain and WWE will switch it, and I feel like they could switch it here and we won't even have a streak building up. Also with McIntyre just winning the title on Monday, I think like him going back to Raw on Monday being like, yeah, I won this belt last week, pay no attention to yesterday, I lost, but it does look pretty shitty. And just him beating Roman will then have Jay to yell at and be like, you screwed me over here, why the hell did you even come do this? And Jay's just like, well, I did this, and this, I was gonna help you, but realistically he just got in the way and screwed up Roman's win potentially. So now for the next month leading into, I think, TLC, is that the December pay-per-view? I think that's normally what it is. Jay will then be the guy that everyone's fighting to get to Roman, so they'll have to get through him. Roman's just like, hey, you're doing this for me, you screw this up, I'm gonna screw it up even more afterwards. And Jay's gonna be fighting guys like maybe a Ray gets a crack to maybe go after Roman, maybe Owens, someone else, and just Jay's the guy in the way, so if you beat him, you get to Roman and get a chance at the title. So that'll do it for my predictions for the 2020 edition of Survivor Series. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you like what I'm doing on this channel and want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.